Welcome to another DCS tutorial, and today I'm going to show you a really easy way in which you can ensure that your carrier is always sailing into the wind for when you're taking off and especially landing. So the first thing to do is to set up your carrier with 2 waypoints, and I've set the wind so that the carrier starts by sailing directly into the wind. As you can see, the first waypoint has an action to go to waypoint 0. In other words, by default, the carrier will circle between the 2 waypoints. However, you must remember to set waypoint 0 to the same speed. If you leave it at 0, it will just stop. If you approach a carrier when it's near to waypoint 1 or past it, then when you land, it's going to be downwind and not upwind. So I've created a second waypoint which will give the carrier another 15 minutes or so of sailing time into the wind. And again, this is set to return the ship to waypoint 0 at the end. Next, I have created a couple of triggered actions. The first is to set the carrier to go to waypoint 2. So if the carrier is heading downwind, it will be forced to change direction. And importantly, if the carrier is close to waypoint 1, it will give that extra 15 minutes to land, or however long you set, before it's forced to turn back. I also have a second triggered action to force the carrier back to waypoint 0. This would be especially useful in multiplayer where people might be landing at various times and you want to ensure that the boat sails downwind for as long as possible. So you might want to activate this 10, 20, 30 minutes or so before your arrival. Finally, we need a few triggers to make it all work. The first trigger is to create the radio menu. So at mission start, we have a radio item add to turn into the wind, which is flag 1 with a value of 1. And the return to waypoint 0, which is flag 1 with a value of 2. Next, we have a switch condition, as we might want to repeat this task. And the first one is activated when we click the radio menu to turn to wind, which will set flag 1 to a value of 1. And start the action, which is to force the ship to go to waypoint 2 via an AI task push and the triggered action we created earlier. It also resets flag 1 so we can reuse the trigger. Finally, we have the same again, but this time the action is to return the ship to waypoint 0. And there you have it. All we need to do now is to see it in action.
We're Joker fuel.
Marshall 010, marking Moms 176.2, Angels 7.5, State 5.6.
3 wire.